Good morning, good morning. Now, this is going to be a build that everyone can use in Countdown, any sort of PvE activity that they want. Typically, you can use this in a group. It performs way stronger in a group. It is way stronger. However, you can definitely use this solo. But I'm going to show you quite a bit of gameplay. Let me just think. What I did is I played a few games of Countdown on Heroic, and I was basically trying to see how much I could tank, what kind of crazy scenarios could I get into and survive. And well, I mean, the survivability is not in question. I think that the overall aim at this gear set is to be basically a run and gun tank. Nothing can really get you, but at the same time, your job is to get everyone's attention because your gear set doesn't really fully activate until they have your aggro. So that's why it's kind of hit and miss with this set because you can do this solo and you get all of the aggro and it works amazing. But it's supposed to work better in a team. However, if you're in a team, your full job to get it to activate properly would be to get the aggro of all of the enemies. So playing something like Countdown or like the Raid or something like that, I really wanted to test out this gear set because I wanted to show its effectiveness when you're in a group of, 8 people. Are you actually going to be able to get this gear set to even proc? And well, the answer is yes, you will, most definitely. I'll show you several scenarios where my gear set is fully procced in a countdown scenario, and it works amazingly. I was able to tank 3 different hunter shots of the axe. I got greedy at the end, and I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'll show you at the end. But there will be quite a bit of gameplay after this build breakdown. But sorry about that intro. Without further ado, let's jump into the new Aegis gear set and why you should try this right now in PvE. Here we go. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. And in today's build video, I'm bringing you the new Aegis gear set, or Aegis. I mean, I guess it just depends on where you are in the world. I mean, some people say Aegis, some people swear it's Aegis. I'm not going to sit here and be the gatekeeper of how to pronounce whatever words you want. If you want to say tomato or tomato, do what you do. Anyways, the new Aegis gear set is a PvE, I wouldn't really say monster or powerhouse, but I'll explain it here in a second. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and jump into the build. I'll explain everything, okay? So here is my protection from elites Aegis build. I am using this specifically for Countdown, but you can use this for whatever you want in PvE. Let's be real, it works. It's amazing. The only downfall that I have personally is I want more damage. I do. There, I said it. I said it. I want more damage. Now maybe once I fully expertise all of these, I could switch one of the blue core attributes to a red and still have, 1.8 million armor and get some more damage that way. But for right now, it is a tanky build. You don't take, I mean, you're taking damage, but not really. It's really nice. It truly is. It's a good build. Um, but it's just it's too much tank. Too much. I understand the overall point of this gear set, and it does work. It works amazing. I was taking damage. I was in, the middle of multiple elite enemies all hitting me at once, and I wouldn't really take that much damage at all. It was very nice. As far as the damage reduction in a team setting with protection from elites, this thing's really nice. You can sit there and just be in the middle of the trenches while everyone's shooting you and you're just fine and your teammates can just take them out. It does work. It does. But for me personally, I like more damage. So this is going to be the first of many Aegis builds. I'm going to keep switching this thing around more and more, and I'm going to come up with different little setups featuring this gear set, because this gear set does have potential. And I love this setup right here with the protection from elites, because if I jump over to my stats, I'm at 70% protection from elites. So whenever you see later on in Countdown, I'll show you one of my better Countdown runs, because there was this one run where we just all blew through it. No one ever went down. Everything was fine. I mean, it was really just not that memorable. However, there was this other Countdown where I had, like, I don't know, I think I revived 3 or 4 people. We all survived. We did this on heroic Countdown. I was tanking hunters. I survived, several hunter shots with the axe. I was just messing around, having a good time. And I think I'll use that one for the footage. But the overall purpose of this build was to see how it would perform in a team setting that would maximize my gear set. And the best way to do that would be either the raid or countdown. So doing countdown on heroic, in my opinion, would be the best way to test out this gear set. So that's why I threw this thing together and did a few runs over there. Now, as far as solo versus in a team, I think I might want to do a exclusively solo Aegis build, because I do feel like you get max stacks all of the time. Because remember, when you're solo, you're gaining all of their aggro, and with this new gear set, your decoy can also help you out. So, I mean, to me, whenever I'm doing this solo, I get all of the damage reduction all of the time. Where in Countdown, I was purposely throwing my decoy like next to my teammates, just so that the enemies would shoot, like, get near my decoy, because you're fighting for aggro essentially whenever you're in a team setting, and when you're in like a raid or a countdown, you're really fighting for aggro. So you'll see in the gameplay. Anyways, enough about that. Let's go back to the build breakdown. Now, starting off at the top, I am using the Survivalist specialization. Now, the reason why I'm using the Survivalist specialization is because it gives me 10% protection from elites as a passive talent. Now, if you don't care about protection from elites, then you don't have to use this specialization. But I am only using this specialization because of that protection from elites. Because remember, if you go back to your stats, what you want is you want all of that damage reduction with 70% protection from elites. That way you can just work, focus on face tanking and doing things like that. Now, as far as face tanking, what I found more helpful is what I would do is I would stick with the Lady Death for the first magazine or two, and then whenever I would lose that amplified damage, I would switch over to the Shield Splinterer. Now, if you don't have the Shield Splinterer, you can use the FAMAS, you can use the Police M4, you can use several other assault rifles. I mean, you can even use the F2000 if you want. It doesn't matter. I'm only using this combination because I felt it worked well with my playstyle, and I'll show you that in the gameplay. But another thing to note, if you are just running and gunning, you could easily just put a shotgun here and then just do like Lady Death M870, something like that. And then that way you can kind of oomph that damage in the back end. I mean, that would be pretty helpful. I was using the Shield Splinter, and it works really nice with the Perfect Optimist, because by the time I get down to the bottom part of that magazine, the enemy's armor's already down. We're on to the health and all that, and that's where the Shield Splinter really shines, because it has all of that extra health damage being an assault rifle. Now, let's go ahead and start with the first weapon, Lady Death. Now, I have not changed the Lady Death yet. I don't have damage to targets out of cover on this yet. Reason being is I don't have enough exotic components. I've heard horror stories where people are reconfiguring their exotics 3, 4, 500 times, and it's like, come on, man, come on. So I don't have enough exotic components like that, so I'm going to keep mine as it is with the damage to armor, because damage to armor is still a very good attribute. Remember, in a majority, if not all of my build videos and vendor reset videos, I typically say to either get damage to targets out of cover or damage to armor. And that's why I still have damage to armor on this bad boy. But nevertheless, it's only expertise level 16, so it's 9% away from max. So you can get this thing to hit even harder. Now, I do have everything maxed for the attributes, SMG, crit chance, and armor damage. Now, the reason why I'm using this is because of the talent Breathe Free. I get 75% amplified damage with this thing, and it's only for the magazine size. So that's why I was saying whenever I go through a magazine or two, I switch weapons, because if not, I'm going to have to run around, do the little chicken dance. That way I can get these stacks back. So it's easier to just switch to your secondary, mow down that enemy, switch back to your primary, run around, get those stacks, and then rinse and repeat. So use this as like a burst damage, or it will definitely take out, those smaller enemies. But when it comes to those big elites, maybe a magazine or two, switch your weapon, and then, I guess do the chicken dance. My secondary, like I said, is the Shield Splinterer. You can use the F2000 if you want, but I'm sticking with this one. So my Shield Splinterer is maxed out at expertise level 25, and it does have damage targets at a cover on here. Now, the reason why I'm using it is because it has the increase to RPM, so now it has a 900 RPM, just like the Lady Death. And it also has a 60 round magazine now. So, yeah, works very nice, especially with that Perfect Optimist. And then my sidearm is just my placeholder, the backup boomstick. Now, as far as the build, I am testing out, and it's really nice, the Aegis chest piece and backpack. Now, the chest piece only really works with the decoy, so if you're going to put on the chest piece, you have to run a decoy. It's a requirement. If not, don't run the chest piece. It's that simple. Because the extra talent for the chest piece, it says targeting your decoy. So if you're not going to use a decoy, don't even bother putting this chest piece on. Use something else. But it does work with the decoy, and it's amazing. Because you'll see in Countdown where all the enemies are fighting some of my teammates, and what I do is I throw my decoy over there, and then all of a sudden you see my Aegis indicator max out like instantly. And I get all of that damage reduction just boom, right then and there. Pretty damn nice. Now, as far as the backpack, what this does, and there is a description typo, and it is in the patch notes and in the known issues board, but the bottom talent for the backpack increases that bonus to 4%. So my stoic damage resistance starts at 4% per enemy, and then it goes up with the number of people in my group. So that's why I wanted to use it in like Countdown. That way I had the max number of people in my group, and I was good to go. All right, so right off the bat, I probably should start with the mask, just because a lot of people are going to ask about this mask. Now, this is the Chill Out mask. This is the mask that was introduced during the holiday event of 2022. So this has been out a couple years now. Now, what makes this mask so special is you can use 2 mods. Instead of having 2 attributes and 1 mod, you get 1 attribute and 2 mods. So for this mask, I'm able to run 2 Protection from Elite mods. That way I can double down and get up to that 70% Protection from Elites while using the 4-piece of Aegis. Now, another thing to note is I am using improvised gloves. So you can only craft these gloves. You can't get these gloves any other way. You have to craft them. So just mind you, the mask that I am using is a holiday event exclusive. So if you did not get it the last 2 years, then you won't be able to put this specific combination together. However, you will be able to make the improvised pieces and do it that way. So what do I mean by that? So I would say craft the gloves, knee pads, and holster because these are your top three categories for improvised because they come with a mod slot. And that's what I'm using for my gloves. So if you go to your gloves and you go down the categories to other, you can see improvised right here. Now this will give you a random pair of gloves with 2 attributes and a mod slot. Now, there will be no brand set or anything like that. It will look something like this, where you have, crit chance, crit damage, and then you can have protection from elites on there. Now, the only problem is when you're crafting these, they are all random. So you could get one with a skill tier, you could get one with an armor core, you could get one with skill damage, explosive resistance, what have you. So when you're crafting these, just make sure you have enough materials to craft quite a few. That way you can get the specific pair of gloves that you want. But if you do not have the chill out mask, what I would do is I would switch the Aegis holster and mask and then craft an improvised holster. Because that way you could use the mod slot for a mask and then you could switch the holster over. Let's see if I have one just to show you let me see. I could probably do that right here, right now for you. Just to show you a quick example. And then go down here to improvise, so you can see improvise. And then boom. All right. So if you do not have the chill out mask, you could do this, okay? Just like that, to where you still have the 4 pieces of Aegis, and then you could have the extra mod slot right here for the holster, and then that way you could still have the 70% protection from elites. So I just showed you a workaround if you do not have the mask. Okay. Oh, nice. Have my shoddy on there. Booyah. Okay. Now back to the build. I'm giving you like the biggest freaking breakdown ever. Okay, so let's start with Aegis, because this is brand new and a lot of people probably have questions on what it is. So this just came out on Tuesday. It's the brand new Aegis gear set, and it only works in PvE. Only. It does not work in PvP. So you cannot use this in the Dark Zone, and you cannot use this in Conflict. But everything else in the game you can use. All right? So that's a big disclaimer for this gear set. It's the only gear set ever made that is exclusive only to one part of the game. So you cannot use this in PvP. It will not work. All right? You can use the health and the total armor bonuses, but the talent will deactivate in PvP. Now, with that said, the 2-piece Aegis gives you 70% health, the 3-piece gives you 15% total armor, and then the 4-piece gives you that stoic talent. So you get damage reduction for every enemy that is targeting you. Now, because I have the extra talent on the backpack, it increases this damage resistance to 4%. So it starts off at 4% for every enemy targeting myself or my decoy. All right? So whenever you're seeing me use this, you'll see the Aegis icon pop up and fill. And once that meter's filled, I'm rocking around with, their max. Even though it doesn't tell you what max would be. It doesn't say what max is. It just shows you the meter and it just maxes out. So I'm very curious on what their definition of max would be for the stoic talent. Because that's not explained anywhere. Now, as far as the attributes, I have max armor for the core, max crit hit damage with a protection from elites mod. I am also using the chest piece because I wanted to test out this gear set to its fullest capacity, and the chest piece does give you that extra talent deceit. That way it works with the decoy. But you do not have to use it that way. I just wanted to use this to test it out fully, and it does work. It does. Especially in a group setting, it's pretty funny. It is. But as far as like solo work, something like that, I would not use this for solo, because in solo, you're already 100% getting the enemy's aggro, so it doesn't matter if you're using a decoy or not, they're still going to focus fire you. Now, as far as the attributes for the chest piece, we have max armor for the core and crit chance with a protection from elites mod. For the other two pieces of Aegis, the holster, max armor, max crit chance, and the knee pads, max armor and max crit hit damage. Now, as far as the mask, again, this is the chill out mask. You cannot get this in the game right now. So if you're going to ask, how do I get this mask? It is not in the game right now. It is only available during the holiday event season, I guess. And that's during December, January. So you just missed it. So it will be available again in December. But for everyone else that did get one during the last two holiday events, what I did is I put weapon damage on here instead of the armor core because you do need some sort of damage. Now, in Countdown with my Lady Death, I was hitting around 500k, around 350 to 500k per bullet, and it was all right. But I really feel like I would want to go a little bit more damage. But if you do that, I don't know. It's kind of a hit and miss thing with this gear set because you want their aggro at all times. So if you have their aggro, they're going to be shooting you. But you also have the damage reduction. So it's like this weird thin line that you're, walking on because it's like, do I want to be more weapon damage because I know I have the damage reduction? Or do I want to go more tanky because I know they're going to be shooting me? I don't know. I guess it's kind of up to your personal preference. But nevertheless, I put a weapon damage core on here instead of the armor. I have crit hit damage with 2 protection from elites mods. And because it is a named Heligard mask, I do get the 5% total armor. And finally, the improvised gloves. Remember, you have to craft these gloves. Now, I have weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and protection from elites. And that is it. That is the build. I am rocking this with a decoy, because remember, if you're going to use the chest piece, you're going to use a decoy. And I have a jammer pulse just to mess with the enemy skills. But, yeah, use whatever other secondary skill you want. It truly doesn't matter. Now, as far as the stats, this is for the Lady Death. I'm at 77k weapon damage, 59 crit chance, 98 crit hit damage, 70 headshot, and 6 for that armor damage. For the offensive tab, we're at 56% all weapons damage bonus and 30% SMG damage bonus. For the defensive tab, we are over 1.8 million armor, and we are at 594k health on the dot. And then don't forget about the 70% protection from elites. I highly recommend trying this out. It is really fun in a group setting, and you can just run around with your head cut off while your enemies while your teammates could run more damage builds, and then they can just focus fire all the enemies that are trying to shoot you. Because truly, you can stand in the middle of all the enemies, and you're not going to get messed up. You're not. It's really fun. But all right, try it out for yourself. Let me know what you think. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that thumbs up. I am Kamikazevondoom. I do daily Division content, so make sure you have that notification bell rung. And don't miss a single one of these Division videos. But that's it. I'm going to leave you with the gameplay. Hope you have a great day. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Oh, yeah, and roll that footage. Yeah.
Communication relay offline.
Black Tusk have taken the power plant. Looks like they've triggered the lockdown protocols while they were charging their warhounds. We need to remove the safeguards and restart the reactor.
System malfunctioning. Reactor unstable. Emergency lockdown protocols activated. 15 minutes to lockdown.
Please proceed to your nearest exit. Lockdown safety protocols initiated.
System curtailed.
You're closing in on the target.
detected. Going in. High-value target neutralized. High-risk target detected.
Lockdown safety protocols in effect. Proceed to the nearest exit.
Area secure.
This ain't a waste of my skills. Shoot. I got one right over there. Found the enemy. Sighted in.
High-risk target approaching. Area secure.
Agent, you should be able to access the reactor.
Evacuate the facility. 5 minutes to lockdown.
Proceed immediately to your nearest exit. Full lockdown imminent.
Agent, you've reached the reactor. I need you to get it back online. Now that you're in, we need to decrypt the safety protocols.
Reactor unstable. Initiating lockdown procedures.
Good work decrypting the protocols. You need to remove those controls to get the reactor back online.
Incoming. High-risk hostile.
Great work, Agent. Now you just need to restart the reactor and keep any hostiles from knocking it offline or killing you. No pressure.
I'll destroy it.
Reactor online.
Nice. The plant's secure. Now let's get you out of there. Move to the extraction point. When you're ready, send up a flare so Torres can pick you up.
System disrupted.
Agent, stay frosty. Hunters incoming.
An agent needs assistance. System reactivated. Rogue fixer drone detected. Hostile fixer drone detected. Rogue restore hive detected. Hostile restore hive detected. System malfunctioning.
Now it's clean.
System restored.
Over there.
Agent down.
off a flare so Torres knows you're ready to go.
Hostile restore hive detected. Detected. Hostile defender drone detected.
Helo inbound to your location. Hold tight.
Serious trauma detected. Agent down.
Let's get you home, Agent. If it wasn't for you, we would have lost the power plant. Thank you, Agent.